All right, so WWE had a little thing on their hands because Rhea had to vacate the title, which I don't think is a bad thing. I was like, I was like, I think it's a good thing for the division and for Judgment Day, but that's a separate thing. We're talking about the Raw Women's Championship, and uh, this is why I think it's a good thing. Rhea was going to hold that title for a good long while. To be honest, I was like, people. I know people talked about like till next WrestleMania, and I don't actually. I was like, we got the draft coming, so there's no telling who could be put on the show. But I also don't doubt it just because look at everybody on Raw. She ran through them, so I was like, she does like you can't really be like, oh, is there really anybody formidable like in that same sense? So you had to look to SmackDown, the people that she ain't touched. Bianca is going to be somebody that they would really want to do at WrestleMania. Jade to Raw. I was like getting that a little bit later as well too, and Io. So now I don't know if they're gonna just do this as Raw people or they're gonna bring SmackDown over because of the draft and whatnot. So I was like try to run down everybody that I could think of on Raw first and give who I would want out of Raw. And if they do SmackDown, would I want them to be over the person on Raw? Now I was like, let's just start out already at the bottom. Indy Hartwell, no. Maxine Dupree, no. Ivy Niles, no. I was like, Candice LeRae, no. And Chelsea, no. I was like, and the reason I'm saying no to these really fast is really because I think it's really more so about them being so young that's like it would be better if there was some come up story. Like out of the bunch, I was like, see, Chelsea is good of somebody that gets one of those I think she would be good for Money in the Bank because it's like she could win it in a way that was like I didn't see that coming, almost like a Carmella several years ago. Ivy Niles I would like out the bunch because I feel like she got real potential there. I was like where I'm like I think she's a lot closer to get figuring her thing out a lot more. Maxine Dupree, if you had the problem is that if you use that storyline to a certain point, but I think that it'd be very hard to do unless you did like maybe like a gauntlet match or something like that. Um, I was like Candice LeRae, I was like she's got to be built up, and Indy Hartwell, I was like she really got to be built up. And it's not that these like women don't have like talent and stuff like that, but they just ain't it's not there just yet, and the story and getting the people behind them and stuff like that that is not there right now. I was like, none of the party girls can't do it just because they're an actual tag team. So I was like, they're not gonna be involved in that type of way. I was like, Natalia, no, if it was been a couple of years ago, they probably put it on her just because she's just like safe kind of thing. I don't see that as now. Tegan Knox, I was like, if they would have kept how they were doing her with the NXT type of thing, maybe. But I was like, they never see the problem with a lot of these women on Raw. They never stuck to boosting anybody up. That's I feel like was one of the problems. Like I said, Tegan Knox, and I was like, they're like you started hearing the crowd like being like, oh, okay, this Tegan girl, and then she just stopped. She had to be in that tag team with Natalia for a while. So I'm like, but I don't think that she would have been a bad pick. Or they would have kept up with her. But no, I was like, so this is where we started getting to basically the other people because I was like, everybody else like Xia Li, like she could have been, but they didn't have her really be taken seriously after the Becky thing. Like that could have been the push to make her to this like good heel asshole like but tough character that you can't fight, and it was dropped. And I was like, she could have been that spot. So basically, the people that I was like, so Piper would be, but she's in the tag team with Chelsea, and that harms her. I was like, I even forgot about Nick Cross. They're not even doing that little funny bit I at least thought was funny. Um, so to me, you got Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, Liv, and Nia Jax. Now, I'ma take Liv out. And I was like, and Raquel, I don't know her situation. I know she's at Eliminated Chamber, and I was like, I think she still got her little medical condition, so I don't know if she'd be available or not. And I was like, I think she's been away too long. I was like, if it was right after the Rhea thing, I think it would have been a good pick, but she's been out too long. Anyway, take out Liv because I think her story is better if she comes forward and wins it. Not I was like I don't think this way. I was like I think if she loses and then she could keep on going on like her little revenge tour or just being mad and just taking out everybody about it. Now Zoe and Shayna hadn't really been built up at all to me to do it. But if anybody is going to give her the chance to, we would trust that she would. It's Triple H, and that what makes it tricky because I like underneath Triple H, I think it'd be a pretty good move that you could work out. And I was like Zoe, I was like they did do a better job of pushing her than everybody else this year, so I could see her being a good person to put it off of, but I don't know if they're going to put on that young of a person, and I mean she's only been up a year, so that could be something. But I was like, I still think she's just a little bit, just a little bit. And I was like, the thing is, I like Shayna, but I also don't like Shayna. Um, and to me, I really think the person you put it on is Nia Jax. She was dominant all year. She ran through everybody just like Rhea did. And then it was Elimination Chamber, which of course she was going to lose, but good showing. And then the last woman standing match with Becky that she was going to lose because contender. Uh, and then she was pretty much nothing to where she should have been on WrestleMania in some form. But you could reward that with giving her a championship just because. Now, don't get me wrong. On one hand, I would like to see her win it as well, because I was like, this could be a good way of putting on somebody and having them just do like some good matches. That's why I was sort of saying like if Trips have a Shayna, they could put on good matches to do the whole NXT thing before getting ran through by somebody dominant like Nia. Because Nia's going to, if she wins, she's going to be a dominant heel. And maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want her to be dominant, like her and Liv to keep going at it until they got to have a blow off. What they really haven't had. Um, because I was like, she has sort of now I've been sort of in Liv way this whole time as well too. So I was like, you can build that up that way. My pick is Nia Jax, and my sleeper is Shayna, and Liv is going to run after the title because I think that builds for her story better. If she just start taking out women, like every week, just like in a match, just start just taking out people to where they just can't compete and being like, now I have to be the number one contender. I think that'd be cool. Now, if we add SmackDown women, now let's go ahead and just be like, Michin. I was like, no. I think she does have it to be a champion, but no. Zelina, no. I can't think of the lady in the other faction with like what is Angel Guards and all them and Santos, but no. To Raw, like Scarlett, she's been doing stuff here and there, but she's not a wrestler. BFAB is still too new. Um, I was like, and I will say this is where I think the SmackDown roster got a little bit more. Is okay, so Dakota Kai is a tricky one because while she hadn't been back for long, I think she's been a pretty good cog into the whole damage control. But I just don't think right now they'll pull that on her, and maybe just because she's also been injured several times too. So, but I think that'd be an interesting pick. Jade is too raw right now. I feel like they still want to give her experience and work her way through. And I don't think this year she's going to like the tag team titles, yeah, but I don't think Now they introduced a mid-card title, maybe, but she had that sort of in AEW, so maybe not. So I don't think she's gonna have a title this year. Now, Kairi Sane, I was like, she's had the NXT title, so with Trips, so maybe that was like that one, but I want to say no. Bayley already got a championship. I was like, now this is where it gets down to the three people I think it could be. Now, or like four. Now I was like, so are we gonna get the one out the way? Now I'm saying it's gonna be least likely. Naomi. I don't think. I was like, I could see her being put in that spot, but I don't think that she is, especially she getting her title match with. I was like with her and have her title match with Bayley. So I was like, that's why I'm like, she sort of gets out of there. Tiffany, while I'll be a good pick, I think still just a little bit. I think she's better in the chasing role until she gets it. Another Money in the Bank candidate type of person. All right, so I was like, I'm bad. I miscounted because public education, I guess. Nah, I just messed up. So here's the three, and I was like, this is the one I'm gonna go with, and it's gonna be the same reason I give for the other one, but Asuka. Now, I could see them doing. Now, this was the old regime; it would be Asuka, but I could see them doing Asuka just because out of everybody, and everybody basically always talk about Asuka didn't have the greatest, like the way they use her on the main roster, and I was like, yeah, but you also got to think that she's a multiple women's champion, and I'm like, even if you say they're not using her regular or just throw her in there just to have the title and stuff like that, I was like, she pretty much is a reliable, safe hand that the crowd loves, that does a lot of everything, works well in the ring, and has won multiple championships. To me, I'm like, when you think about it, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, Asuka. That's really the crew has been for the longest time. Now, the only reason I don't think so because she got the tag team title and she's sort of playing second a little bit to Damage Control, which is why I'm like, okay, I don't know which one of the two. Now, I was like, but I think it could be Bianca. But if she doing the thing with Jade, they're not going to give her the main title just for that to overshadow Jade. So that's why she can't be it. But if you're talking about somebody that has the same impact of Rhea, same match quality, I was like multi-time champion, long reign, say to work with, dynamic matches, all that other stuff. It's Bianca. Which why if there's a SmackDown person, I think it will be EO because that would be a heel way of doing things that she basically go to another brand, insert herself, and basically just takes that title. Now in one way you could sort of say that sort of upstaged the whole thing that it did with Bayley, but I think from their grouping standpoint, the way they are, it could be helpful to their whole storyline. And and think about you got the four Judgment Day dudes there, and you got the four Damage Control ladies there. Two top factions that are going to bump heads, especially when they are like, you got our girl Rhea's title. I think that also builds in the story itself. But yeah, so I think if it's EO versus Nia, I think you still give it to Nia. But I was like, but you can heal it the hell up with EO. So those are my two picks that if they have one or if they decide to let it enter brand, then you have that as well. Anyway, who you think should take the title? Who you think I didn't represent well or don't or just tell me who you wanted to be. Anyway, we'll see how this all goes. But until then, peace.